Thank you so much. And would you join me in thanking Cheryl Chapman for her great work as chair of the Pennington County Democrats. Well, it's great to be here with Senator Johnson and with Barb and with all of our outstanding legislative candidates. It is a great year to be a Democrat in South Dakota or anywhere else in the country. And we've got 23 days to go. And it's been a great campaign. You know, the last time that Tim and I were on the ballot together was 2002. Much different times, only 2 years into the worst administration we've experienced in many of our lifetimes. Hard to fathom just how bad it was going to get on a number of fronts. But I think it drowned out voices in 2002 at the local level and some of what we saw happen nationally and some of what we went through in 2004. But we started turning the tide here in South Dakota and across the country in 2006 and electing more Democrats to the State House and the State Senate and electing more Democrats to the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate. And we are building a great bench of candidates who are going to serve the state so effectively in Pierre and locally all of our county commission candidates. And it all starts at events like this and all of the local organizing that happens in grassroots efforts to recruit candidates, to support them financially and volunteering our time, to register voters, to talk to our disaffected Republican friends about the importance of registering as a Democrat in 2008, to be on the winning side of what's going to happen in just a few days on November 4th. To change the direction of South Dakota, change the direction of the country, to reprioritize how we spend taxpayer dollars for the priorities of education and renewable energy, getting our economy back on track, and ensuring quality and affordable health care for all South Dakotans and all Americans. You know, I'm really looking forward to the debate Wednesday, which I'm sure all of you are, the final debate in the presidential. Senator Obama and Joe Biden, what a ticket we have at the top this year. To see what they're doing and energizing people all across the country. And of course, we are going to re-elect in a real landslide this time our senior senator, Tim Johnson. Of his life to service to South Dakota in a federal office. Years before that, serving in the State House in Pierre. Years before that, serving his community in Vermilion. And it is going to be great to have 6 more years of the seniority and the influence and the effectiveness of the legislative accomplishments of Tim Johnson. And I'm really happy. For your support over the years. I, as you know, made my first bid for the federal office in 2002, back when it was a much different landscape for us politically. But we have, as I mentioned, been incrementally making those types of changes. We now are gaining more Democrats, registered Democrats, than Republicans in the state because of that contested primary that we had. And of course, some of us are also doing the job we know we need to do in the most fun way to get new Democrats, and that's bringing them in. And you know, it is all about the young people who are here. We've got some little ones that are toddling around. We've got some young folks, teenagers, college students who've been helping us on the ground, along with all of you that have been working so hard for so many years to elect good candidates and Democrats here in western South Dakota. And it's about them and their futures. We have some very difficult decisions to make in the upcoming years so that we don't pass along a record national debt and all of those harder decisions to their generation. And the Democrats are the ones that are going to clean up the mess. The Democrats are the ones that are going to reprioritize what we're doing in Washington and Pierre. And I look forward to campaigning with our local candidates, with Senator Johnson, and with all of you over the next 23 days, and then working together to provide a new change and a new direction for South Dakota and the Congress. And for South Dakota and the country, I should say. I've got Congress on the brain. Now it is my honor to introduce to you someone who needs no introduction. Someone who, after an experience that no one would wish upon anyone else or their families, was able to see through a healthcare challenge that, it's hard to believe, happened to our friend and our neighbor and someone who's been our public servant. But it didn't surprise me that Tim Johnson decided to run for re-election. He has reached a point in his political career where we've already seen, since the time that he's been back in the Senate, how effective he is, how effective he can be, and how effective he will continue to be on our behalf. He's willing to give 6 more years of his life and of Barb's life and their family's life to serving us, to make sure that what they faced in healthcare challenges that they undertook and had to face, that other people have the advantages that we have when we have good health insurance. But we also know that they faced some times that there was some uncertainty, some anxiety, and I think, as Robert said, given that life experience and all of the other experience that he brings to the table, we know that his voice is our voice, that he's going to cast his votes in a way that's good for our quality of life, good for our families, good for our state, and good for the entire country. He's been a mentor of mine. He's a friend to all of you, a friend to all of us. Please welcome